hello, didn't see you there. My name is Zachary and I'm the new music teacher at Salmon Arm Secondary, Sullivan campus, and welcome to the music room. It has been a bit of a strange year for us here at SAS, but I'm ever so lucky to be here working with some wonderfully talented students and some really amazing people. There has been some challenges brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic, but we are still able to make music together in a safe way, and we've been really enjoying the break from all this stress that making music together brings us. We were disappointed, although not altogether surprised, that we were not able to share our music live with you this December. But instead of a live concert, which we would normally do, we've been able to expand our audience this time round to basically anyone who's watching this video right now. We were able to put together some recordings for the choir and jazz band on the mornings, the final days here at school before winter break. And we are thrilled to be able to share some of the music we've been working on since September with you right now. So we've got a couple selections with the choir and jazz band. We're going to start off with jazz band, a piece we've been working on since September, a tune that probably a lot of you will be familiar with. I bring you Blue Skies, brought to you by the SAS Jazz Band. Please enjoy. Now I'd like to change the pace a little bit. We have a second ensemble that's been actively rehearsing here at the school. So you've heard our jazz band. I'd like to introduce you to our choir. We've been working very hard on a lot of different pieces this term. So far, we've performed kind of-ish via recording for our school's Remembrance Day ceremonies, which were held as videos presented to each class individually. We did a setting of In Flanders Fields, which was our first group effort. Welcome to our second. We'd like to present for you a piece recently produced in 2020 called A Call for Peace. It's in Latin with some phrases maybe you might be familiar with. Dona nobis pacem, grant us peace. It is not particularly a Christmas piece or a winter piece or really any sort of theme other than really asking for some kind of respite and some kind of relaxation after perhaps a stressful or hard time. And after the year 2020 and all that it's brought a lot of families and a lot of people across this province, this country, and this world, I think right now that's what a lot of us are aching for is peace. So perhaps this song and this performance might bring some your way. We certainly hope it does these holidays. Please enjoy A Call for Peace performed by the SAS Sullivan Choir.
Dona nobis pacem, dona nobis pacem, dona nobis pacem, dona nobis pacem.
Let there be peace in all the world, grant us peace, pacem. Let there be peace in all the world, grant us peace, pacem. Let there be peace in all the world, grant us peace, pacem. Et in terra pax, et in terra pax, pacem. Et in
Dona nobis pacem, dona nobis pacem.
Let there be peace in all the world, grant us peace, pacem. Let there be peace in all
Dona nobis pacem, dona nobis pacem. Dona nobis pacem, dona nobis pacem. Dona nobis pacem, dona nobis pacem.
One of the challenges we face so far this term is we have rarely had the chance to perform all together as ensembles. We have students at our school coming twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays, and others coming twice a week on Tuesdays and Fridays, and Wednesdays alternates. So we have very few chances for all students to be at school together. Now that means that we've kind of had two choirs going along here, rehearsing the same pieces, and two jazz bands rehearsing the same pieces. Firstly, that's been able to keep numbers in the band room low, and so students have been able to space out and wear masks whenever they are singing or whenever they are not actively playing instruments. We want to make sure that they stay in separate cohorts as well, so that's been very handy for us in order to keep things safe for our students and our staff. But it's been hard to kind of put things together. And so in addition to that, another challenge that we face because of that schedule is that if you're in jazz band, you only come to school for jazz band once a week. Say your jazz band is on Friday, you only come on Fridays. So students normally during a regular school year rehearse twice a week. This time it's only once. So progress has been challenging for that reason. Students have performed absolutely wonderfully and very admirably. There's been a lot of hard work put in. But in part of that, we've just naturally been a bit slower to get to the performance stage. And because of that, that's why you're seeing some non-holiday related pieces in our performance repertoire right now. Specifically this next one called Manha de Carnaval in Portuguese, and in English, A Day in the Life of a Fool. It too might be familiar to some people, some jazz enthusiasts perhaps. Perhaps it might take you, although you can't travel physically right now, close your eyes and take you back to some kind of sunny beach, perhaps on the shores of Brazil, or anywhere you'd like to visit. That has warmth and no snow and no freezing rain or anything like that, like we have here in Salmon Arm right now. So sit back and please enjoy our jazz band's next performance, Manha de Carnaval. 1, 2. things to do around this time of year is dig deep into Christmas traditions and why we celebrate the way we do, or why we hear music the way that we do. And one of those big things is Christmas carols. It's become one of my favorite subgenres of choral music is older traditional English Christmas carols. Particularly nice if you're ever tired of hearing all the ones around shopping malls in this time of year. In any case, some beautiful melodies, some really underappreciated works of music. One of the ones we were looking at this year with our choir was called the Coventry Carol, back from the 16th century in England. From the town of Coventry, there was a tradition of hosting pageants around this time of year, and this one actually comes from a pageant of the Shearman and Taylors. It's quite graphic in terms of its lyrics, talking about the massacre of the innocent, the idea of King Herod being threatened by this idea of a baby in Bethlehem being born who would become king of the Jews. The orders going out, allegedly, there's only one gospel that talks about this in the Bible, of King Herod sending out orders to have all young male children in that town slain. And the idea of Mary and Joseph escaping out of Bethlehem with Jesus so he could survive. It's not exactly the most Christmassy, cheery type of topic to talk about or to sing about. Nothing that you'd hear walking down in a shopping mall, perhaps. And yet it's really interesting to listen to that one. It's almost a song of sorrow, but also hope at the same time, because the way that it's being sung by people in England at that time perhaps could be transferred over towards England in those days, which was going through a series of rather unfortunate plagues and pandemics, not unlike what the world is going through now. The idea of King Herod and this massacre of the innocent can transfer over to the innocent people that are suffering right now because of coronavirus. So I thought it was somewhat apt to perform this and apt to kind of look back and study the old ways of performing this and the old harmonies, the strange English spelling of this from the 1500s. But when I looked a little bit more into it, I realized something very strange, that it's actually, if we look at the pageant of the Shearman and Taylors, where this comes from, it could have likely been a comedy, which is almost very strange to think about when you see Herod the king in his raging charged he hath this day, his men of might in his own sight, all young children to slay. And this idea of big bad guys in this play creeping up comedically again, towards these ladies with babies. The ladies put down their babies and turn around and suddenly start beating up on these assassins, perhaps. So it would have actually been a comedy, and yet we've kind of come to know it as sort of a tragedy, something to be sorrowful for. And so what I'd like to propose to you is to listen to this performed by our choir and decide for yourself what you need. If you need some kind of solace to know that the world is going through a time of hurt right now and that it's going to be okay, this is the message for you. If you need something to brighten up your day and maybe put a smile on your face, to think about the comedic imagery behind how this might have been executed in a play, you can do that as well. Either way, we're very proud to be sharing this with you right now, and we hope you enjoy our second piece of this digital concert performed by the choir.
Hallelujah.
final piece tonight, this performed by our jazz band, I actually have a special guest that I'm bringing in to introduce this piece. So hold tight, he'll be with you in a second. Hello, it's me, Santa Claus. Definitely not just Mr. Power in a beard. Welcome to the SAS Sullivan concert. I hope you've been enjoying the music so far, hosted by the wonderful students at Salmon Arm Secondary. We have, as Mr. Power mentioned, one more piece to perform for you right now. And before we do that, I really want to thank all the students who have put in such a hard work and put in such an amount of time during this very strange year. I know they've been trying to juggle other classes, and I hope that their time with Mr. Power in the music room has been a nice break from all that stress that must be going on in their lives right now. It's been such a treat for them to work together, and I know Mr. Power is very grateful for all the great students that he's had in the music room so far. We look forward in our SAS community, because yes, Santa Claus is apparently now a staff member at SAS, to be bringing music to you again through 2021. We hope to be able to perform live for you sometime in the spring, and really just can't wait to be able to share our music again live with you like this. In the meantime, we're going to keep making music the way we always have and keep performing, at least for concerts filmed digitally. We're going to keep delving into wonderful things to learn and experience through music. We're going to keep sharing great memories together, and we're going to keep having a fun time. So this last piece that we'd like to have performed for you is once again by the jazz band, and it's a little twist on a well-known Christmas carol, perhaps you might recognize it, as well as a very obscure kind of jazz standard. This one, mashup of the two pieces, we were thrilled to be able to perform for you. Big Noise from the North Pole. Please enjoy and have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a wonderful, restful winter break. Bye, everyone.
1, 2, 3.